Hello, everyone. Plant cells undergo division, growth, and differentiation to form various tissues. Tissues are closely connected to form parts with specific physiological functions and significant morphological characteristics called organs. The organs responsible for nutritional functions are called vegetative organs, which mainly include roots, stems, and leaves. Today we are going to learn about plant roots. Next, we will learn about plant roots in terms of their functions and morphology. First, we will look at the root function. Roots generally grow in the soil and are organs that plants have developed over time to adapt to terrestrial life. The first function of roots is absorption and transport. The root is an important absorbing organ of the plant, constantly absorbing water and inorganic salts from the soil and transporting them to various parts of the ground through the transport tissue for plant development. The most active region for water absorption from the soil is the root hair zone near the root tip. The second function is support and anchorage. Due to the presence of mechanical and vascular tissue, the root system is firmly anchored in the soil, supporting a tall and extensively branched shoot system. This is often referred to as being deeply rooted. The third function is synthesis and secretion. So far, it has been found that the root can synthesize a variety of organic substances, such as amino acids, alkaloids, plant hormones, etc. In addition, the root can also secrete nearly 100 kinds of substances, such as sugars, organic acids, vitamins, etc. At the same time, there are a large number of rhizosphere microorganisms around the roots, which can reduce the growth of harmful bacteria, reduce the occurrence of root diseases, and promote the growth of roots. The roots of some plants have special forms and corresponding functions, such as storage, reproduction, and respiration. For example, the sweet potato we often eat is a storage root, storing nutrients such as starch, and can also be used for propagation. Let's look at the shape of the root. The first is the type of root. According to the different locations of occurrence, the roots can be divided into definite roots and adventitious roots. Definite roots develop from the radicle and have a specific origin, including taproot, lateral root, and fibrous root. When the seed germinates, the radicle first breaks through the seed coat and grows upward to form the taproot. The root produced from the taproot is called the lateral root, and the root produced from the lateral root is the fiber root. Some plants can produce roots from stems, leaves, hypocotyls, or old roots, i.e., from non-radical origins. Such roots are called adventitious roots. For example, roots arising from the lower nodes of a cornstalk, or roots produced along the leaf margins of bryophyllum. Adventitious roots share the same structure and physiological functions as definite roots, but some plants also have some special functions, such as absorption and support. The total number of roots of a plant is called the root system. According to its characteristics, it can be classified into taproot systems and fibrous root systems. A taproot system consists of the main taproot and its lateral branches. The taproot is well developed, and the lateral roots are small, which is obviously different from the taproot. Common in dicotyledonous plants and gymnosperms, such as cotton, pine, and cypress plants. The taproot is underdeveloped, grows slowly, or stops very early. It mainly composed of similarly sized, clustered adventitious roots is called a fibrous root system. Common in monocotyledonous plants and a few dicotyledonous plants, such as wheat, corn, etc. The total area of a plant's roots in contact with the soil is usually 5 to 10 times greater than the total area of stems and leaves. Based on their depth of distribution, root systems can be categorized as deep-rooted or shallow-rooted. Deep-rooted plants typically have well-developed, mostly taproot systems, and the taproot can go down into the soil 3 to 5 meters, even up to 10 meters. The roots of shallow-rooted plants are mainly distributed in the soil surface, and their taproots are underdeveloped, consisting mainly of lateral or adventitious roots, often forming fibrous root systems. The distribution of roots in soil is affected not only by different plant species, but also by environmental conditions, especially soil conditions. Trees long adapted to riverbanks or humid areas, such as willow, can obtain sufficient water near the soil surface, developing shallow root systems. Conversely, plants growing year-round in desert areas tend to develop deep root systems. In addition, the so-called deep roots and shallow roots are relative, and the depth of roots is different in different growth stages of plants, and there is a certain correlation between a plant's root system and its above-ground parts. The roots of plants are very shallow in the seedling stage, but roots become more developed and penetrate deeper as the plant matures. In addition, human influences can also change the characteristics of root distribution. For example, seed propagation and deep fertilization tend to promote deep root systems, whereas irrigation, transplanting, and cuttings at the seedling stage often result in shallow root systems. Therefore, we should adopt reasonable cultivation measures in production practice to promote the growth of plants. Therefore, the growth distribution law of plant roots in the soil creates good conditions for root growth and promotes the sound development of roots, which can lay a good foundation for the normal growth of plants. That's all for today's lesson, and I'll see you next time.